Hey guys, Sam here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our RV, right? Our project RV. If you're new here, new to our channel, this is a 2009 Forest River Georgetown RV we purchased last year and have done a lot of work to. That's why I call it our project RV. Well, in today's video, Sam is back in the project RV. I'm sitting in the captain's chair behind the steering wheel, almost ready to hit the road. But not in this video, because today's video is about a camera system that I researched and purchased myself. This is one from Amazon that is going to replace our broken camera system so that it's much safer to drive our RV, that I'm able to see the things as we're driving this 37-foot behemoth down the road and install it and everything. So if that's something you're interested in, or you just want to hang out again in the RV, stick around because we're jumping into it. First things first, guys, let's show you what's in the box and what all comes in this kit. So as I open it up, I may have already said this, but this is not really a top of the line model. My goal with this was to check and see what does the budget option with good reviews on Amazon actually give us, because these wireless camera systems can get very, very expensive. This one being a budget was still right around $300, which is a lot of money. You may be wondering, why in the world would you spend that much money for a camera system? And basically it all boils down to one word: safety. Definitely having a large RV and driving it, and especially with towing a vehicle behind the RV, it makes for an extremely long rig on the road, especially for, you know, an average person, not a commercial truck driver. And I need to be able to see to merge lanes, I need to be able to see safely beside me and behind me, and also keep an eye on whatever we are towing, whether it be our tow vehicle, which is a Honda Element, or whether it just be the rear of the RV as we back up or park. It just needs to be visible, because otherwise it's really not. Alright, so everything's out of the box. To kind of give you a brief overview of the main bits and bobbins, this is the main display. It is a very large display. I want to say this is maybe a 10-inch. It comes with a sun shield. You've got some buttons here, and on the back we have our wireless antenna that mounts here. This is the mounting point for one style dash mount, and then the other mounting points are here on the sides. Another thing I like is that there is a slot here for a micro SD card, and so I'm hoping this will also record the video, so I can keep this and it kind of become, well, I guess not a dash cam, but a camera for the RV. Outside of the monitor, we now have 4 cameras. So this is a look at the side camera. This one looks kind of weird, right? But it mounts to the side of the RV, and it allows me to see left side, right side as I'm driving. It is an all metal housing. It has some infrared LED lights or infrared lights here for night vision. Camera is right in the middle. And then it's got the power supply cord and the port on the back for the wireless antenna. So we have 2 of these. And then as far as the rear cameras, they look like this. Infrared lights, middle camera portion, just kind of a basic mount here. It does pivot, so it'll allow me to angle up and down as I need, and has a wireless antenna connection point and a power socket or a power wire. So pretty basic construction. Again, this is also metal. And then our 4th camera is the exact same thing as the other rear one. So basically we have 2 of these. These guys are identical. And then we have 2 of these for left and right side. So this is what makes the 4 camera kit for the product that I bought. So the next thing that I want to do is here inside of my workshop, I want to plug this up. I want to get some power, and I want to test all of the cameras, the monitor, and make sure everything works before I go through the trouble of installing it in the RV. Alright guys, here we are outside. This is the front passenger side. This is one of our, well, the original side camera that's on this RV. This is a Voyager brand, and I looked for these, but the price for this one camera is about the same price for the entire system that I bought. But the issue we have is not only the cameras, but the display. So we're going to take this guy off and we're going to replace it. So we're going to pry off this front little piece, and that reveals the 2 screws right here. But what it really reveals are the 2 screws going this way to take this whole plastic cover off. So these 2 screws are what we're going to take off first. Now we can slide this cover forward and take it off. Now we have access to the 3 screws holding this on. One here, and one back here. Now we can pull this camera off. The original bracket comes off, and then we can pull this wire out. There we go. Popped loose, and now we are free. I'm gonna take some time to try and clean this up before we just stick the new camera right back on there. While we wait for that one to dry, let's go over here to the driver's side, and we would normally remove the camera, but this camera on this side was broken and missing when we got the RV. So what I did about a week or two ago is I actually just 3D printed a blank plate. So now we get to take this blank plate off. It has served its purpose, and now we get to put a camera where we previously had an ugly spot. I have some of this 3M electrical tape. Now this is not standard electrical tape because this you have to stretch and then it sticks to itself. This is extremely good stuff. The reason I'm using this is I want to go ahead and plug my camera end into my wire end, and this is just a barrel connection that just pushes and connects. I want to tape this to keep water out, to keep debris out, but also to hold these two together so they don't disconnect over time. What I've got now is a watertight, dirt-tight connection, but I also have these two pieces where they are not going to come apart, which is what I want, because this connection is going to be somewhere within the body of the RV, in between the outside and the inside. In other words, nowhere that I can easily get to later. Alright guys, I'm going to fish the wire in through this hole. We will capture and grab this from the engine compartment a little bit later. And if we remember, we have the 3 screws on this camera body to separate it from the mounting base. Now with that separated, I'm going to carefully let the camera kind of hang there, because what I need to do now is to actually mount the base. So I'm going to mount it here. Ideally, I would want to cover this up more, but I want to retain this access without having to take the whole bracket off. Okay, so another question you may have. Sam, you didn't put any caulking here. You didn't put any sealant. Are you trusting this little foam gasket for all your weatherproofing? No, I'm not, and it doesn't matter, because this is a part of the wheel well. On the other side of this is just open engine cavity compartment, so there's no point in me sealing this. If water gets behind it, it's fine, it drips straight down. This is not part of the living quarters. Now on the rear cameras, that may be a different story, but for this one, this is okay. So now we'll go ahead and put the camera back into place, take our screws, and connect it all back together. The last thing to do here is to put this big, ugly antenna onto this camera, and then we're done with the installation as of right now. There will be some adjustments we do once everything is connected and done, but for now, this gets us done. Goodness, that's ugly. Oh well, it's all part of the fun. Maybe I can find like a small little antenna somewhere off the internet and just get something smaller. Well, I don't like how large the antenna is, but it is what it is at this point. As far as installation though, that was pretty easy. So I'm going to go on to the other side. I'm going to repeat the same thing, but I'll save you guys from that, and I'll see you guys on the next step. Now that I have both cameras installed, I went ahead and pulled the wires from the camera on up into the front coming out of the engine compartment. That way I could find the original wires that were in there, and I'm going to trace them and take them into the inside of the coach. The original cameras wired up into the head unit, or the, I guess you would say, the radio area of the RV. So I want these new wires to also go on into the inside as well. They don't have to for video communication reasons. They just need to find power. But I feel like I'm going to have a better chance of finding a good, safe, handy power source inside in that dash than I am going to be out here in the fender wells. Plus, it keeps things cleaner from the engine compartment standpoint, which is already crowded enough, and I think it's going to be the best thing to do overall. Here's another look at a little tip for you guys. If you got to run wires through a firewall yourself, in my instance, I grabbed some orange weed eater string, cut about a 6-foot length, taped my wires to the end of the string right here, And now I have myself a pull cord that I can fish through the firewall out here and find it inside. And it being this bright orange, obviously not a wire material, makes it super easy to find inside. Because otherwise, this wire is going up and through the firewall where all the other wires do connect, and it would probably get lost. But this way, hopefully this will work. It'll be very easy to find inside. And look at that, guys. We have weed eater string. So let's carefully pull this, and it should bring the wires through the firewall. And there we go. We now have our power wires in here when we can do some work with them and keep everything inside the coach and nice and organized. All right, guys, we're back here at the back of the RV. I got the ladder set up, and this is going to be difficult to film because it's about 12 feet up there. You can see the little white camera in the middle right below the red marker lights. That's what I've got to replace and put the new one in its spot. So let me climb up here, see what I can get, and I'll try and film as much as I can. Before I go taking this bracket off or taking this seal out, I need to go inside the RV and see if I can find this wire. This is in the ceiling above our bedroom, so my concern is that this thing right here runs the full length along the roof. If so, that's going to be very difficult to trace out. I may have to come up with a different solution, but before I take this out, I'm going to see what I can find out inside. This is the window we were just looking at from the outside, and it's got this window frame all the way around it, about a 4 to 5 inch sill. But it makes me wonder if that wire outside is coming in here and then routing around and down, or if that wire is not, could I do that? Could I put my wire there, run it around, down the fiberglass, and then run it to a power source from underneath? Not sure, but today is not the day to figure that out because we've got some thunderstorms rolling in and not the best time to be on a ladder. Sometimes when you sleep on a problem, apparently your mind thinks of solutions while you don't realize it, because this morning I woke up with an idea that works. I knew that what I needed was basically a wire connection from the back camera up here to the front. And as I thought about how I could run the power, fish it through the wall, everything, I then had the idea, wait a second, there's already a wire running from where I need it to start to where I need it to end. So I wonder, could I not just use that wire that is very soon to become obsolete and just supply my power as I need? So I decided to snip off the end of the wire up here at the dash, go to the very end of the RV outside, pull the wire out of the shell of the RV, cut it back there, spliced it in temporarily with our camera, red and black wires connected to each other, and then up here I just held the red and black wires to the side of the cigarette lighter or 12-volt accessory port for the RV, and ta-ta-da-da, Bob's your uncle, we have power, the camera connects. So that epiphany that I had overnight has saved me so much labor, so much time, probably money in buying materials, and still gives me a perfectly clean install without having to do any kind of weird wire runs from the rear to the front. Well guys, sorry I didn't get any footage of this install because it was a little bit difficult to do out here on the ladder up in the wind. But here's a final look at the install. Pretty basic, you know, not too easy to film and do everything, but just connected the wires together. I did solder these together to the original wires so that we don't have any issues. Then I used some Lexel sealant to seal up the grommet, the screw holes, and everything. The last thing I did was get Angela inside, and she watched the camera on the monitor in the side of the RV, and we positioned it up and down until we got a location that we think is going to work well. It'll give us access to see where the RV is backing up into, say for parking, and then it also should point far enough back where we can see our towed vehicle behind us. At least that's the hopes. Here we're able to see on the monitor, the left side is the left side of the RV, the top is the rear, the bottom is the front. We decided to make this other camera a dash cam, and this right side will be the right side of the RV. Now that I have them connected to the correct channel for the monitor, I need to somehow take the monitor close to a window, go outside and start to adjust the cameras for the best view. So here we are at the front passenger side. I'm going to loosen these 3 screws, not take them out, just loosen them. And that should allow me to rotate and position the camera as I need. All right, let's see how that looks. I don't know that you guys are going to be able to see this very well at all. I'm looking at the right skinny screen. This is terrible. It is at least correct as far as tilting left or right. It just needs to be moved towards the outside. I'm seeing too much of the camper wall right now. All right, at this point, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm adjusting this camera, looking back and forth, back and forth. I'll do the same thing to the other side camera on the driver's side, and I'm not going to film it, right? Boring stuff. So let's go ahead and skip ahead to the next step. Well guys, this feels like forever since I started this project, but I finally reached the point where I'm ready to put this whole piece back into the dash, cozy up all the wires we've added, add in the 4 screws that holds this into place, put back our little Velcro trim pieces, and call it done. Alright, to power on the system, I have this little toggle switch that I wired up. That way we can have this on anytime we want, whether the RV is running or not. And then over here, by the time I've turned on the switch and came over here, it is already connected to the 4 cameras. So this is the default view that I chose, but there are a lot of different views. You can go into the menu, go over to mode, and you can choose a ton of different layouts. Whether you want to only see 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, multiple different layouts. You have a ton of options here. The other one I may use is this one, where it's kind of a quad view, but it doesn't put it in order like I like for driving. However, this might be good to have for just general surveillance, since we plan on using this as an on-site security camera as well. Otherwise, this view right here, they call it the H-split. This is the view that I'm going to be using. I have my left side, my right side, the rear camera, and the front. I'm also able to go down here to the channel button, and I can press this and cycle through the individual channels. So this is full size left view. This will be full size rear view. Very handy if I need to back up or if I'm just really curious what's going on in the back. Full size right view, and then full size front view. Pressing channel one more time takes you back to your default view. I like the built-in sunshade that this unit has. I also like that the double-sided tape they give you seems to be pretty sturdy. Hopefully I won't have to put any screws through my dash. And then of course there are knobs here, and I can tilt this up or down for the best viewing angle. Otherwise it doesn't take up a whole lot of room, but it is a larger screen, which is nice, especially as you're driving. You got this kind of view. It's nice to be able to look at whatever's going on camera-wise, but it not be in my field of view. Well guys, that's going to be it, right? Because the installation is finally done. This was complex, yes, but it was not overly complex. I think the majority of my complexity was that I wanted this to be as good of an installation as possible. I wanted my wires hidden. I wanted everything connected very well. And so I took my time to make sure, hopefully, you do it once, you do it right, you don't do it again. But we'll see. Who knows? This unit may last 2 weeks, or this unit may last 10 years. I don't know. But if you got questions or comments, leave them for them down below. If you want to check out this unit, there'll be a link to it down below. Remember, I bought this with my own money. This isn't sponsored. I'm not selling you this. The company has no clue that I made this video. But if you're interested, I'll put it down there as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching as always, guys. Take care, and we'll see you next time on the channel.